Right. So we'll build this lecture from where we left the previous one. So we were looking at the first stage of FFT algorithm being implemented for n equal to 8, right? So in the last lecture we had expressed xk as gk plus w8k hk for k varying between 0 to 3, and x k plus 4 as hk minus w8k hk k to 3. So we were able to write x0 as g0 plus w8k h0, sorry, should be 0. I would want to point out in the last lecture I think there was a small error here, and by mistake I had written this w subscript 8 to the power of 1. This actually would be 0, so I'm correcting it here. x1 is going to be g1 plus w81 h1, x2 is g2 plus w8 to the power 2 h2, x3 is g3 plus w8 to the power 3 h3, and x4 is g0 minus w8 to the power 0 h0, x5 is w0 minus w8 to the power 1, sorry, h1 g2 minus w8 to the power 2 h2, and x7 will be g3 minus 3 h3. Okay, so all these oddities we have evaluated. These were the end results, and we have evaluated them using 4 values of g0, 4 values of h0, sorry hk, 4 values of gk, and 8 subscript 8k, where k ranges from 0 to 3. Now we are going to make a model using these values. So the first stage will look something like this, and this is an elaborated model. So on this side I have g0, I have g1, I have g2, I have g3, I have h0, I have h1, I have h2, I have h3. on this side we have x0, x1, x2, x3, capital X4, capital X5, capital X6, and capital X7. So let's just draw these lines to begin with. Alright, so now let's look at it. X0 is G0 plus W8 to the power 0 H0. So this is how we show it. So we have H0, we multiply it by W80, we pick it up from here and we take this line and all the way here, and G0 is coming from here, so this dot represents their addition and we get X0. Then X1 is this G1 coming, and H1 gets multiplied by the factor W8 to the power 1, and this goes and gets added here and we get X1. Similarly, it is W82 and this goes and gets multiplied here, and this is W83 and this goes and it gets multiplied here, and we have these arrows going like this. So now we have defined capital X0 to capital X3 in terms of the weighted sums of G0 and H0 by these arrows. So these dots actually mean summation. So this dot means G0 plus W80 H0. So this is what comes over here. So I'll just write 1 for clarity. So this actually represents G0 plus W80 H0, right? So let me just take it slightly here so that everything is visible. Okay, now if we look at what is X4, then it is G0 minus W80 H0. So we already have W80 H0 coming over here. So what we can do is that we can multiply this by -1, and we can pick G0 from here and we can bring it here and add it here. Just a second. So this line here is G0 minus W80 H0, which represents our X4. Similarly, we could have a -1 here, and this would come here and get added here. So this will give me X5. Similarly, I could have a -1 here, and G2 will come and get added here, and we will get the result. And lastly, you'll have a -1 here and G3 will come from here, and X7 will come from here. So this crisscross kind of a pattern is what is popularly known as the butterfly model. I'll just make this model just for one value so that you can see the crisscross happening. So it looks like this. So you have G0 here, and down below here you have H0. H0 gets multiplied by W0, W8 to the power 0. You pick up this value from here, you take this value here, from here G0 is coming, they get added here. So this actually means an addition, and that would give you the value G0 plus W80 H0, sorry, and then you will end up with X0. And here you have X4, which will be basically so W80 H0 is coming from here, it gets multiplied by -1, and you can pick G0 from here and bring it down here, so that this value here becomes G0 minus W80 H0, that is X4. So you can see that there are crisscross patterns. Similarly, you can see that if you'll see, you will have G1 here, you will have H1 here, you have W81 here, and this goes up here, and you get capital X1, and this comes down like this, you have a -1, and you get capital X5. So this gives you X1 and X5. Then you have G2 and H2. H2 gets multiplied by W82. It goes up here like this, gets added, and you get capital X2, and this comes down, there is a -1, and you get capital X6. And lastly, you have G3 H3 W83. You pick it up from here, bring it up here, you pick this up from here, you bring it down here, -1, and this becomes capital X3, yeah, capital X2, capital X3, and this becomes capital X7. So you can see, so this is all the arrows are there, so these arrows are here. So if you don't see an arrow somewhere, it's just that it is there, and it is automatically pointing from left to right. Okay, so over here this arrow is here, this arrow is here. So you can see that 1, 2, 3 and 4, all these 4, when are combined together, you will get this kind of a model, which is this model, and this happens to be stage 1. You see these 4 and these 4 are primarily the DFTs of sequence small gn and small hn. together combining in this crisscross manner, they give you the entire DFT capital XK. So this ends the first stage, and in the next lecture we'll look at the mathematics behind the second stage, and then we are going to make the butterfly diagram for the second stage. Then we'll proceed with stage 1, and once we do that, then we're going to bring the complete diagram which will represent the FFT algorithm for n equal to 8, where we are evaluating for any sequence xn with 8 samples its DFT. Okay, thank you.